Shalom, shalom, peace, peace, peace. Alrighty, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our Redeemer. And it is in His name, which is His authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, protect tonight's message. Aman. Barakallah Shem Yahweh. Anai Kofi, Kofi the Sons of Christ. Shalom Chi. Leva'ai Shalom. Peace be upon you all. I will be back on again on Thursday. Hopefully we'll meet you for Thursday Rising Prayer. Wednesday, tomorrow, I have the day off, but we know that there's SOC doing it and continuing to do it big. So prayerfully you guys can join us wherever you might be. Thank you for joining us on this evening, and appreciate love you. So I'm gonna come with a quick message, and then relax somewhat, but relax and at least try to do a musa real quick. But let's say hello everybody real quick. All right, and we give our honor and praise once again to the Most High. We give our praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Amma, who lives the life that is able to be honored. As always, you can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A-N-D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. So, Tadach Yachashel, thank you for being on with us. And let's say hello everybody real quick. How you doing, Minister Stephen? How you doing, Donovan? Minister Samantha Ray, Minister Shantae, Isma, Rodney, King Kwan, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Yes, there is another number that's being used. I will try to remember to text you tomorrow if I can, or if you want to text me, and I'll try to see if I can hit you back with a new number. Right? Yeah, I should have been, a lot of you should have already been seeing it for certain things, for children's link, for Shabbat school, for men's meeting links, stuff like that. So it should have been floating around already. And it actually is a number that's listed. It's an older number that we used to use, but it's actually listed. If you look at the Facebook listings or the YouTube stuff or the description, once the video has a chance to improve and stuff like that. If you look, well, I don't know if it's on the website, but if you look in the description on Facebook videos and the description on YouTube videos, if you just keep scrolling the live sessions and stuff like that, find one that has, the long description in it. It's one of the 202 numbers in there, so you should be able to see that. Whichever one you have and you feel like you haven't been able to reach me, then just use the other one. How you doing, Sister Cara? How you doing? Is it love? Shalom, peace. You just added it, cool. Yeah, yes sir. Yeah, that's me. Impress J1. Everybody, how you doing, Sister Monica, Minister Tamara, Body Diet, everybody. How you doing, Brother TJ, Sister Becky? If I miss your name, charge it to my head, not to my heart. We appreciate love all of you. And tonight, let's just get right into this real quick, and then we'll let everybody take their leave, including myself. How you doing, Sister Amika? Tonight we're going to talk about you get what you spit. Obviously coming from more of a hip-hop terminology, hip-hop mindset, more hip-hop terminology. You get what you spit. So if we're talking about spitting stuff, if somebody's spitting something in hip-hop, right, you're spitting lyrics. So somebody's spitting lyrics or whatever, we're looking at what you spit, right? So you get what you spit. What I mean by that tonight, though, the focus on that is going to be along the lines of this, right? If you spitting, like let's say you spitting game back in the day, we don't do dating and stuff like that in our culture. That being said, if you kicking game, if you spitting game, if you spitting philosophy, if you spitting concept, if you just, spitting something to get the job, whatever, right? You spitting lyrics, etc. If you spit peasantry, you shouldn't expect royalty. Right? How you doing, Sister Deborah? If you spitting peasantry, then you probably shouldn't expect royalty. Right? No offense, no shade, no trying to get on anybody. It's just real talk, right? A lot of persons walk around with poverty mindset, and I'm not talking about poverty mindset means you don't make money, right? You speak what you see, right? But you spit, what you spit is what you get, right? You sow what you reap, right? Whatever right? The amount of time you spend investing on something is what you're going to get in your return. How you doing, Corey? So what happens with a lot of persons is we get peasant results, and then we try. I was studying some stuff and even looking at some videos, reading some books, talking to Elder Alma about some things, because obviously we got to, at some point, as soon as possible, we've been telling everybody to stay faithful and committed, whether it goes up or down. Cryptocurrency, of course, has gone up as persons were telling us that they would, not just persons who were spiritual, no, I'm talking about persons who told us a long time ago, who were rich, who make money, who said, keep investing, right? So they've continued to go up, right? A lot of persons got scared and everything, and then they're talking about why are they getting peasantry results. And one thing Elder Am and I have been talking about is really when it comes to poverty, a lot of us don't recognize that it's not just the poverty mindset. Persons are really bad at making or keeping money. Now I know job situation, sure, and I know what they did to us as black folk or Negroes, etc. And I know how you doing, Sister Mignon, how you doing, Sister Deborah, all right? And I know that all these, but if we be honest, we are terrible at keeping money and making money. And really, here's something like, so generational wealth wise, here's a difference between somebody who's great at keeping money and somebody who's not. We keep saying it over and over again, by the way. We keep suggesting these things because these are things that we should be making sure we're doing anyways, right? And I'm sorry, I didn't do the Bible pledge. This is my Bible, this is my sword, and this will I trust for Yahshua as Lord. No sword of God shall ever be heard, for this is my Bible, and this is Yah's word. Excuse me, right? How you doing, double OG, triple OG? So here's something that we don't think about, but we probably should start to think about a lot more. My brother, my sister, we say this all the time, start your business. Now, some of y'all be looking at us crazy, right? But here's the difference between you, especially if you're still gonna be paying taxes. Did you know, I'm gonna ask a question, I'm gonna ask 3 questions, right? How many taxes, how much do you think the average person, I'm talking about, you know, you guys who are, you're artificial person, but still, how much do you think the average person pays in taxes in the United States of America? Shalom, brother. How you doing? How you doing, Culture Prospect? How much do you guys think? Just a guess. If you want to Google it, fine, but you'll probably find it. But how much do you think, percentage-wise, person paying tax? Not finance-wise. Percentage-wise. The average person pays percentage-wise in taxes. Okay, somebody said 30%. What else? Any other guesses? No, I'm talking about percentage-wise when you do your federal income, whatever, or just taxes in general. Just taxes in general. How much do you think the average person in the United States of America in general is paying in taxes percentage-wise? Somebody said 30, somebody said at least 25. All right, so we're in the ballpark, so some of you are aware, you know, that it's about 27 or so percent in the United States of America, okay? All right, now watch this. How much do you think they pay in taxes on average in Europe? How do you think they pay on average in taxes in Europe? How you doing, babe? My wife's on there. Honorable Ambas, always check her out on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. Shalom, Sister Shima. Shalom, Achet Shaima. Right? Not the number, once again, if y'all don't mind. How much percentage do you think that Europeans pay in taxes? Google says 29.2. That's what I'm saying. Google's kind of interesting one. I'm coming from a different specificity, so let's just say, I'll just go ahead and give it to you, right? United States of America pays about 27%. Europe pays about 50% in taxes. Way more, right? You would think, oh, Europe, isn't that? Way more. Right now, they get way more things from their state, if we be honest, right? There's things, they get free healthcare, right? A lot of them get free education. The school system is different. They help with making sure that you have a trade. So there's different things that they get in a lot of European nations that you don't get, right? But so the taxes would be higher, right? Now, watch this. How much do you think the average corporation pays in taxes? On average, percentage-wise, right? On average, percentage-wise, how much do you think the average corporation pays? Okay, you ready? Some of y'all have it right. It's 0 to 3%. You know why that is? Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. The reason why that is, the reason why we keep saying get the business together, get your stuff in order, start writing your stuff off. Right? Everything is written off. Everything is being used for your business. Everything is being used for your business. You know why? The reason why, right, is because they don't get taxed on gross. Well, not only that, yep, tax write-offs and all that stuff too, but they don't get taxed off gross. That's the main reason. You don't tax a business. SOC, the way it's set up, although it's counted as a religious organization, is also a business, right? The way it's set up, the way that I was led to set it up. So you can't tax us on income. Now, you're not supposed to tax churches at all anyways, right? But we're not technically a church the way we're set up, right? But we get religious organization protection, right? But you can't tax an organization, right? Or tax a business or tax a corporation, especially, right? I'm talking about corporations, so let me stick in corporation real quick. You can't tax a corporation, right? On anything except for what's left over, right? So it's not the gross, right? And it's not even necessarily the net. It's basically like, it's not what you get after taxes, because they don't get taxed on it. They get taxed on whatever's left over. This is why you have businesses where persons will be like, man, we want to spend $1 million to get on a private jet. Why? Because that $1 million is completely written off, and not even written off. Sorry, because y'all think, because writing off means I'm going to go ahead and tell somebody. All I have to do is make sure that it's spent. Right? They don't have to actually look at every single. They do in case somebody comes and looks and stuff, but they don't have to. All they have to do is whatever's left over, you got to spend it. Like even with SOC, the way that we're set up now, this is nonprofit, not corporation, but the way that we're set up in the sector of stuff that we are in, like technically we can keep a certain amount of finance for such and such amount of time over some years, but after that, stuff has to come off the books, because whatever we have left over, they get to say, why do you have it left over? Right? Now they can't really do much with us anyways, because we're a religious organization the way we're set up, so we're a little different. But I'm just trying to tell you, right? And I say all that, and we're going to be brief. I start with that tonight though, once again, because we're talking about you get what you spit, right? If you spit, right? If you out here spitting stuff that's peasant talk, you're gonna get peasant results. You see what I'm saying? So they don't teach peasantry. They don't teach poor folk. They don't teach those of us who think we are poor but really are rich how to remain rich. We don't even speak like that, right? This is why you hear me use certain terms. I talk about travel instead of driving. Why? Because if I'm driving, I'm toiling for somebody. But if I'm not toiling for somebody, or if I'm not doing something for the point of commerce or commercial gain, then I'm never driving. It's not just so that when I show up to court, whatever, because my goal is to not break the law. So I'm not trying to break the law and get tickets anyways. I'm not worried about that and getting pulled over, yada, yada, yada. I'm speaking like that because I want to have a mindset to stay separate from the system as long as possible. That includes even separating financially what a lot of persons do, because a lot of persons are busy saving. Here you are saving every year, and every year fiat cash goes down. Some of you are saving money under your pillow. Some of you are saving money in the sock drawer, right? And saving money for a rainy day, and that cash every year, right? If vermin don't get to it first, or if it just doesn't start to crumble over time, you're saving that cash, and when you go to spend it, that cash is not worth what it used to be worth. You said you tried to explain to somebody, yeah, but it's not for everybody, right? It's a kingdom mindset. So even in that, you live like you poor. You think you're poor. Now this is why it gets really wild, because some of you are like, no, man, I'm rich, and y'all got me. But the way your life is, you think poor, although you are rich. Somebody says, invest in this. This is what rich folks are investing in, right? And don't worry about having to own a whole coin, Bitcoin, altcoin, whatever, Litecoin, etc. Don't worry about owning a whole coin. Just get in there, because this stuff is going to move. And so if it doubles, who cares if you own a whole coin? You just want your money to double. At some point, yes, get more and more and more and more. But for right now, just get in there. And everybody, well, I don't know, and I don't want to get this, right? And I'd rather have cash. Cash loses value every year. Oh, well, it's not just that. You got to understand, it's crypto. It's cryptocurrency. It's not even something that you can hold in your hand or can be held in the bank. Banks don't even have money in them anymore. No, but you don't understand this and that, and you're making all these excuses. And guess what? If you use a credit card, if you use a card of any kind, if you use your phone, if you tap your device or whatever to make a payment, guess what you do every time? You are using something that's not even real. You're not even using checks anymore. You're basically using numbers in a system. And if some system or somebody hacks the system and changes the numbers, then you've lost it all anyways. Your goal is not to keep. Your goal is to spend. The focus on spending your time, spending your effort, spending your energy. You get what you spend. What do you speak about finances out of your mouth? Right. How much do you invest in your wife so that she'll feel protected and secure and have that affection so that she will have more in the tank to give to the family? How much do you honor your husband? Respect him so he feels like he's respected enough to make sure that he's constantly sowing into you what you need. Right? That's rich. That's wealth. You can hear all these feminist movements all you want, and everybody talking all this stuff. Gloria Steinem be at the head of it. But while she was telling you not to be married, she was kissing her man on the lips and saying, "Have a great day, honey." You hear what I'm trying to tell you, right? This whole thing of us being out of order, right? This is a community that has to come together and begin to realize we getting what we spitting. Like, we busy spitting discord and trying to figure out why there's no unity. We're busy spitting, forgive me, what is it? We're busy spitting ideology that is poor ideology. And then talking about where's the wealth at. There's persons that are wealthy, that are in SOC and partake in a lot of stuff that we do and support. And are like, yeah, we, when you guys get there, we're ready to support. So we say, get the business, get the stuff together, come to the classes, right? Somebody out there, and look, I'm not trying to push anybody, but I'm just saying, look, some of you are, even if you just did it for 1 month, and I know it sounds wild and it sounds crazy because basically I'm putting SOC University stuff and Patreon stuff pretty much goes in my pocket. So, or my family's pocket. It's a gift from SOC to myself. So look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you all. I get it, at least for now, till it grows some more, and then we'll start giving some more of it to other things as well. But I get it, that part of things is coming to me. So I know how this sounds wild, but I'm gonna say it anyways. It's wild how somebody be like, man, $45 a month to have unlimited access to scroll and everything that's ever been posted on Patreon and everything that's on there. See, SOC University is not just only the university stuff, which nobody else has access to, and you can get anything that we've taught ever, well, at least the stuff that they didn't take down when they took down the first YouTube channel. But not only that, but everything that and everything that we post on there, you have access to it. Right? Everything. And somebody, even for 1 month, somebody go, oh, that's too much this. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, see, y'all ain't putting money in my pocket. I know how it sounds. I hope you get the context because I got to keep it real. That being said, now, how many times did you go to Chipotle this month and get extra guac and all that? Well, that's what I eat, and I need that to eat. Do you really? And what? The way that Chipotle prices is now, especially if you get a bag of chips and a soda or something like that, shoot, what? Three times you ordered, 3 times you could have fasted. By the way, we fast once. We do intermittent fasting a lot at SOC. 3 times you fasted. It's enough to be able to say, okay, even if it's just for 1 month, I'm gonna try it out and see. And I'm not just gonna get it and then never watch it. I'm gonna try it out and see. And if I have issues with it, let me make sure I get in contact with you. How can I use it? And if I have questions about the material that's being taught, hey, help me out. If I want to even see what it's like, hey, Pastor Kofi, is it possible you can give me 1 or 2 classes that are 1 or 2 sessions that I can literally just see what happens in the sessions, what you're talking about? Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, these are things that are there. And so what I'm saying is we have a lot. Look, Minister and I, and this ain't stuff that even costs you stuff, even though you should still so. Minister and I has got a podcast. She was asked by all these sisters, hey, teach us about this and this and this and this and this. Right? She got the podcast. I know Minister Shantae's podcast is still going, right? But she got a podcast, right? Minister Anais, Minister Tamara, right? YouTube. Minister Stephen putting stuff out on TikTok, right? We have stuff within SOC, and then we sit up there and we say, why is it the SOC is going through whatever? We shouldn't have any. Well, I won't say we shouldn't have any issues, but we should be storing up things. I know somebody gonna hit you with store up your treasures, not in these earthly vessels, these earthly vessels. But you're living like we're poor. Really, you're rich. Right? We don't have to do that. If you spit poverty, then you should receive poverty. If you live in poverty, you should. I'm not just talking about, once again, just like only like you got to be flashy and stuff like that. There's cats that made a lot of money on the street and they were in poor mind. You know how we can tell? Because no matter how much money Al Capone made, no matter how much Freeway Ricky Ross made, right? No matter how much money, if you want to go to your movie, Scarface made, and The Godfather made, and all that stuff, how they life in? Whether they were locked up or they were shot, how their life in? Right? You see what I'm saying? How their life in? We can see they reap what they sowed. We're talking about some simple stuff. Where is your food? Even if you're growing it on the windowsill, right? And then before a person say, you don't know what I'm talking about, Pastor Kofi, there's no space. My upbringing, when I first, at least my first memory of it, my grandmother probably was doing it all in her house, you know, being from Jamaica. But however, my mama, my first memory of fresh basil and rosemary and all that was growing in an apartment and growing on a windowsill. Cactus growing inside. This is in New York City. Cactus growing. You see what I'm saying? Cactus growing. Yeah, we had cactus that we had in the house. We had aloe vera. We had stuff in the house. We had stuff on the windowsill. What's keeping us from that? Right? What stops you from being able to take an onion and put it in a glass and put it on the windowsill, and even if you never put it in dirt, you keep eating from the top of it over and over and over again, as long as it lives. Right? These are things that we could easily be putting together every day without problem, without issue. Right? We have persons that say that they're growing this. Of course, we're gonna work harder next year. We're gonna be more diligent in making sure that we have some stuff to share with you all, of course. You know, but when we do that, or if we send stuff out, or if we go, okay, cool, we got tomatoes, this, that, or whatever, right? And we start trying to send these things out, that we're sending them to you so you can continue to grow them. If we send you a tomato plant, and the tomato plant is together, and we make sure we are meticulous and very careful in how we put it together, we overnight ship it to you and all that stuff, and that tomato gets to you, that tomato plant gets to you, then it's on you to make sure that it keeps growing tomatoes. However, by any means necessary. And as we do that, we've taken care of a tomato problem. Nobody should have to buy a tomato. If we do that and we're able to get some potatoes growing and we can send it to you, but then please, man, please, sir, make sure you grow those potatoes. If you have moringa to share, whatever it is, if you want to grow some stuff, be part. We tried to do this a couple of years ago, and 2022-ish, maybe even 2021, I think 2022, and 2021 is when we started saying we could do it. And person said, we had a couple persons that, you know, did some, but then they ended up just doing it for themselves. Now, I'm not mad at them, I'm just saying they ended up doing it for themselves. And so communication broke down. But we can make this happen. So I'm saying all this, though, to say you get what you spend, right? In your personal life, what does your business mean to you? Okay, walk and talk and speak as if that business is exactly what you want it to be, right? Walk heavy. Believe in yourself. And don't allow any of the cares of this world. Don't allow any of the things that could choke the life out from this world. Remember, it even told Yahashua said, we don't even realize how much, even though I'm not saying once again we got to just focus only on finance, but the word talks about finance quite a bit. Yahashua says when it comes to the ground that that the weeds came and choked the life out of. It said that that represented the cares of life and also persons who are tripping off money. That's what he said. He said it's not just that you care about this, that, or whatever. He was like, you tripping on finances, like if you wouldn't just invest it, if you wouldn't just make sure it's in the right place, if you wouldn't just make sure that you keep the area, if you wouldn't make sure that you just stay away from some of those things, if you don't allow those weeds and stuff to come around and start choking the life out of you. That includes finances, right? Financial stability is one of the things that's never taught. And we say little things over and over again. Hey, we're gonna do this on that. Hey, invest in this. Hey guys, you still keeping this? Are you been keeping up? We check in with you guys to make sure that the things that Holy Ghost has been saying, that we are remaining faithful. And I am very careful with saying anything about investing in certain things specifically. If I say anything about it, it's because it's something that it works. I told you Solomon, right, has been putting money in himself into stuff. Like if you have Cash App, there's no excuse for you not to have Bitcoin. And by the way, when it goes down in value, let it go down. When everybody makes fun of you, let them make fun of you. Because over and over again, persons haven't gotten it yet. Bitcoin is going to keep going up and up. They say that they've projected to hit $2 million at some point. Now, some say only up to 200,000. Either way, it's only at 90-something thousand now, right? So that means that even if it was only projected to hit no more than 200,000 for the rest of its existence, which is kind of impossible, but let's just go with that, then that means that you still looking to see your money double. Or let's say it goes back down to like 50,000, which is still worth a lot per coin. But if you're just starting out, let's say you take $500 and it goes to 50,000. If you invest $500 and then it goes up to 2,000, your money just quadrupled, right? 500 times 4. So that means you have 2,000. That's if you don't put anything else in. Then be patient. It's been doing this over and over and over again because it's more volatile as far as when it goes up and down. Volatile doesn't always mean bad, especially in investing. It just means it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, it's not even just Trump or whatever, and even though more persons looking at the market in interesting ways now because Trump got elected. But even besides Trump, right, it's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And by the way, all these persons saying not to get the stuff, they didn't pay attention. Shoppers Food Warehouse, Safeway, Jewel Osco, Giant, etc., all these different places. Guess what they were investing in the whole time that your friends were telling you not to invest in? Cryptocurrency. And specifically, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always the OG. You should always have some Bitcoin at least, bare minimum. Bitcoin is the OG, right? Ethereum is supposed to be the one that's basically going to eventually at some point make Bitcoin look like nothing. And then, start studying some of the other ones that are out there too. Other altcoins, Litecoin, et cetera, right? If you need help with it, matter of fact, when we do the classes, maybe we'll make that one class where it'll be on SOC University, but we'll allow certain classes for everybody to come in, at least for the beginning of it, maybe the first couple classes, so that everybody can, participate or at least be able to see the basics of it, right? But that's stuff that we had put out there a while ago, and we had said, hey, here's the basics of it. Like, take it, get altcoin, know your altcoins, know your, have your cold storage wallet, have your cold wallet together, like all these different things that are going on. You said you found 2 accounts with Ethereum. Okay, amen, no problem. We'll set something up. All right, but I'm in my bag now. I'm studying on it, so I'm trying to get my mind back because I've just been being steady and investing. I haven't even been studying. I've literally just been like, what I know, these are the ones that we plan on. I check in, probably not even, like you're supposed to check in probably no less than 15 minutes a day. I probably read like a little 1-minute paragraph, a couple paragraphs here or there every day on certain ones just to make sure the stuff is all right. But I'm just telling you, and that's just one little thing. There's many different ways, but if we remember nothing else, these things that Holy Ghost has been telling us for a while, business and investing. If we have business, down the road, we'd like to be able to do our own altcoin, our own coin, our own cryptocurrency, but we got to get finances in order first for it to mean something. And we have to make sure that persons are investing in us right? Because if SOC is investing in us and we're getting everything from each other, then that means that we could literally pay for it through whatever we want to pay for it through, which means we could literally start having something increase just because we've decided to use it for our community. Persons do that all the time with fiat cash. There's quite a few places in the United States of America to where there's alternate money, right? To where there's money that's not federal government owned money that persons use, right? You just have to have enough persons that agree to use it, right? And then if you get it to where we get our stuff together, we obviously have to make sure security is together. We got to make sure blockchain is correct and all that stuff, right? As we get all that stuff together, then you start to really see some certain things. And now if somebody wants to get certain things through you all, guess what you guys get to tell them? You guys get to tell them whether if you're going to do certain things you want to buy from us, sure, you can do cash and blah, blah, but you would get a percentage off, you know, if you use this coin or this coin. And now you get to change the way that persons do business. You take control. This is what ultimately even Bitcoin and Ethereum, not all altcoins, you know, not all coinage, not all cryptocurrencies like that, but that's ultimately what cryptocurrency is supposed to do. Cryptocurrency is supposed to allow you to be off grid, so to speak, financially. You're supposed to have your own bank account that you can carry in your pocket, especially if you have a cold storage wallet. You could literally walk around with your own bank account in your wallet. So we're just trying to help in that regard. We're trying to help persons to, you know, get back on track. We're trying to help persons to think outside the box, and really not even outside the box, to think inside the kingdom. That's right, decentralized money. That's exactly what the term that we use, right? All we want to do is have decentralized money, right? But that's something that you work towards. So, like I said, have these businesses together, if for no other reason. Even if you never end up in the black or red because you make you make a t-shirt business and you get it taken care of and you make sure that you got your stuff together with the IRS, have the business, and even if you never do anything with it, if nothing else, just say that I bought this for the business and my gas went towards the business, and even the job that I have to use business stuff to do the job, whatever, right? Make sure that you do that and watch your taxes come down, because now, oh no, you're talking about that and this and that or whatever, but that's not, you shouldn't be taxing me on that. If anything, fine, maybe you should tax me on the income that I got from the job, but you know, you should also realize you owe me money because you're taxing me for that, but really it's a write-off, right? And if they say, no, your job is this and you're an employee, this and that, no, well, even as an employee, right, even I'm an indentured servant, I'm a servant. I have a contract. I'm contracted, right? And so as a person who's contracted, and I have to use on my own stuff. But what do you mean? No. See, like if you work for this company, they make your outfits and everything. I don't know. Like even if I work for a fast food place or whatever, I pay for it though. And if you look at my taxes help out in prisons. The outfits that are made here are made in prisons. Therefore, the slaves that are barely paid are barely paid by the taxes that I make. And the persons that watch them are paid by those taxes, right? Like even if you don't like what you're saying, just learn the terminology and learn to speak like you're rich. See, somebody who's rich, I told you, you're the ATM machine. Somebody who's rich, you make the money, right? You're wealthy, you make the money. Amen, Brother TJ. Yeah, we got to look over it and stuff because I'm not sure all the ins and outs of it or whatever, but yeah, we definitely need to look at it. Well, the EIN or LLC. LLC is not really my bag. I'm not really big on LLCs, but I know persons are going to use them. So if you're going to use them, might as well use them properly. As far as the LLC, I mean, EIN, see, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could do a session on EIN, but EIN, you don't really need, to have a session on it. I guess like, we could do one session on it, and then those who want to set it up with me or something, you can. But really, you can set up an EIN for free. Right now, you can go online right now to the IRS. There are going to be a lot of persons who, when you type it in, set up the EIN, you're going to see all this stuff. When you do a search on your search engine, you'll see all this stuff. Oh, pay here, pay $200, and we'll do this, and we'll do, right? EIN is free. So be careful with that. Now your trust, your LLCs, things like that, those are things that you just need to go ahead and make sure that just writing. Matter of fact, something that you can easily do. Like I said, I don't mind helping persons and stuff like that. it's time consuming, and I don't have that much time, and I'm run out of time now, which is why some of you guys need to be trained for this, so that maybe some of you guys can have somebody give you a donation and help you guys out. I would hope that they give you a donation, because it is a lot that goes into trying to write up something for somebody else. But really, also too, don't forget that there's tools that we have. I tell my son this all the time. I'm not trying to son anybody, but I'm just saying, I tell my son this all the time. Like, he'll be trying to do all these math equations and stuff, everything he's trying to do in his head. And sometimes I'm just like, son, use your tools, pull your fingers out, nothing else, count, multiply on your fingers, right? You can do this, but you make it a mountain out of a molehill, right? So we have tools, not just the SOCs opposed. I'm talking about, like, if you wanted to, write a trust, go to Google Calendar, go to Google Scholar, type in the type of trust that you're trying to do. Look for articles, right? Because you'll be able to find case study, but also look for articles and see how persons have put stuff together. If you like what they're talking about, see if that exists. There's persons literally that even Yusuf L, there's this guy called the Big Bad Wolf. I forget what his name is, but he's in the sovereignty, and I like a lot of stuff that he has. But there's persons that literally just create paperwork all the time, that you could actually go out and be like, oh, I'm looking for paperwork for this type of trust, blah, 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 and go look at the paperwork if it makes sense, right? Or if then buy it. It's worth it. It's worth it. That's worth the investment. If it's $15, $20, some of them $50. Yeah, it seems like it's expensive, but if somebody's gonna hook you up to where your stuff is ironclad, go find it. And if you want me to help you by reading it with you at some point, you're just gonna have to make sure that I got time for. We're gonna have to set it up. But yeah, we can go over that stuff together. But maybe we can do an EIN thing. The EIN is not that difficult. The EIN, getting the EIN for anything, you just have to know. We just have to know what exactly. And once again, this comes to vision. What exactly do you want to do? What are you called to do? How is it you're going to operate? What is it that you're going to function in? You're going to have to do business or commerce with the state and with the federal government. So also too, what is it that you're going to do? How is it that you want to work? Now you're in charge. You're in charge. So you get to tell them how. But we still need to figure out how, because if you say you're going to do it this way and then you try to do it another way, now you're out of order. You're not lawful. Right? So we just need to figure that part out. Once we figure that part out, then we just literally look and search up your EIN. We do it for free. And literally, I'm not talking about later on. I think they say it might take them some days or some weeks supposedly to get it done. But the reality is like, as soon as you're finished, for Elder Alma, for SOCs, for Elder Alma's again, right? She got a couple businesses. For Young Solomon, he's got a business. He's got an EIN. Every time we did it, as soon as we pressed enter the last time, we got an email and a number and everything. You write down your number, you make sure you save it in a few places virtually that you think nobody has access to it. Make sure you save it and have it written down on your person somewhere, or somewhere in a few different places where it can be locked away so you don't forget where it is, and you don't ever, get in a place where you can't find it. But yeah, once you have your EIN, then that's when we can start looking at businesses. Okay, we want to set up business account and the EIN instead of having your social security number be used. No, I want a business account and I want it to be in my EIN. And if your bank tries to act like they can't do it, because some will, then what do? You just go to a bank and open up an account at a place that works with your EIN. Right? Like, that's one of the things too. We spit, you spit what you get, or you get what you spit rather, right? Either way. So when you look at this stuff, one of the things that you'll discover as well is like cats just be spitting the poverty thing, not knowing that there's other things. Like, how you doing in the indomitable spirit? Like there's a lot of cats that spit, so they always speak it in an impoverished mindset, because that's all we know. Going back to the stuff with the taxes. If you have a business, right, if you got a corporation especially, and by the way, if you know law and you know you're a corporation, then a corporation shouldn't have to pay anything back. So if your corporation, right, is being taxed, then that should be something where you go like, hey, well, if I'm a corporation, if I'm not a natural person, or if we're coming here representing the IRS is looking for the person that's not even a natural person, but they're looking for the artificial person, that artificial person is known as a corporation. The corporation, as long as they spend the money they have and have nothing in their savings, that shouldn't be taxed. Right? There's different ways. So, some of you want to have stuff in your savings, and I get it. You should have a certain amount. really you should always have like at least 6 months out. That's responsible saving, right? To at least if something happens to you, you have 6 months of stuff to be like, okay, we're straight, right? You should, right? But I know we're not all there. I know life happens, things like that. But if you get to, we have to be more responsible. And now we got to come out of this thing, because as I've said before, I have no problem talking about redlining. I have no problem talking about chattel slavery. I have no problem talking about how Cloud Anderson says that we done lost our mind and we better get ourselves together. But Cloud Anderson, Uncle Cloud, he also been telling us for a long time, yo, get your finances in order. If we don't get them in order now, right, you got to start thinking different. At this point, the chains are tied to your mind. And you're strong enough in the mind, believe it or not, to break every chain. But we got to break them. Right? At this point, it can't be every man for himself, and then why is every man by himself? It's a poverty mindset. You know, it's like when persons be like talking bad, and there's no real women, there's no great women, this and that or whatever. Did you ever think about the fact that like before the pandemic, things weren't that well? Then there was a whole pandemic where everybody was away by themselves and nobody was talking to each other at all. And by the way, a lot of men, you know, had prawn problems, you know, reverse the R and O, and you know what I'm talking about. But you have prawn problems, right? And acted like you didn't have those. And then you started trying to treat your women like those or whatever. And then you came back into the situation, but there's no great women you know, there's a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of stuff that's going on with our mental health, and when your mental health is off, your mental wealth is off. So we cannot even think properly. Like certain things, like instead of me, especially like I did it on the trip again, made excuses, got into soda, sugar, stuff like that or whatever. Instead of being like, I'm gonna eat less of it, guess what? At least for now, guess what I gotta do? Right, my wife and I just went shopping. That's why I'm in here now. Like we had to find a place on the way back. But, you know, just finished shopping. I was like, you know what? At least for a minute, no sugar. Right? That means no bread, nothing white. No offense to anybody, but nothing white, unless it's like cauliflower, pretty much cauliflower and salt. I know there's other things, but I mean, nothing. But it's for me, because everything else is going to turn into sugar, right? And I keep getting to this place to where I'm actually stronger in here, but I still can't get rid of the side. That's nothing but sugar, right? So you see what I'm saying? Like I got to get, that's the thing that I have to do. And I have to feed myself different in order to get different results. And certain things that I'm fasting away and doing and working on for whatever, it comes right back. Or some of it just sits there because I get rid of the old flesh and now I feed the new flesh. The very thing that I tried to get rid of in the old flesh. No discipline in that area, right? So if I can't be disciplined in it, then the best discipline I can have is just to cut it off for now. You said bread has sugar in it. Well, bread turns into sugar. Bread's gonna turn into sugar. Rice is gonna turn into sugar. I'm not sure about quinoa, right? But rice is gonna turn into sugar, different things like that, right? So I'm literally just gonna have to be like, okay, no sugar. That way, you know, and I don't even, and see, here's the wild part. I'm not even like a big sweets person. I just like the high, right? I just like the high. And really, I like the carbonation. I drink carbonated water all the time. I can literally just have, and I shouldn't have nothing but carbonated water. However, I could just drink a lot of carbonated water, right? And some of even the stuff that happens with us when we get older, we're talking about, I have a problem with memory and this and that, et cetera, right? Like a lot of that stuff has to do with even a lot of sugar breaking us down. So, you know, just something simple, some simple things to think about. But anyways, you get what you spit. It's time for us to start spitting a different type of lyric. It's time for us to start spitting something that's got bars that help rather than hinder. Right? It's time for us to not allow anybody to spit anything in this community that's going to cause us not to be able to be healed, to be whole, to be healthy. Yeah. You know what? Okay. Holy Ghost said I'm going to say it. Last thing, I think I'm gonna probably deal with more of this on Patreon, but just something for y'all to think about too. I forget what it's called. I forget what book it's from. Please forgive me. But there's something called. It's not like false humility, but it's like false healing or fake healing or something like that. Right? What do we mean by that? Oh, okay, Brother TJ. I'm be praying for you. Right. but I forget what it's called. It's like false healing or fake healing or something. But basically, um, I'm sorry, our evening sessions posted? Probably on the website, I guess, if you're saying is there a place where it says when we have evening sessions, but the rising sessions are every day. The evening sessions are every Monday through Friday, except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays is my day off. So every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, evening sessions are on. Every once in a while on a Sunday, we'll have evening sessions as far as prayer and worship, but that's only after we fasted for a week. Amen. Oh, thank you. It's just very appreciative of it. All right, thank you. So so we're going to, but yeah, what was I saying? What was I in the midst of? Not the low sugar thing. So, false healing. So a lot of you even, and this is something that causes us to not be in mental health, and therefore affects our mental wealth. False healing. What is false healing or fake healing? I'm not sure which one it's called, but I think it's false healing. False healing is, okay, it's recorded on YouTube. False healing is set up to where, basically, if I can put it like this, false healing is set up where, what is it I'm looking for? I'm sorry. So false healing is when a lot of you are waiting for somebody who's hurt you in the past to come to their senses and ask for forgiveness. Right? So whether it's somebody who cheated on you a long time ago, or recent, whatever, but like if we're talking false healing, usually it's something that's happened a long time ago, somebody's still waiting. So if somebody cheated on you, or a parent was really bad towards you growing up, you were abused in some way, shape, or form by somebody, whatever the case might be, right? And we do this weird thing where we wait for everybody, including the government. Like they're gonna get it together. They're gonna start giving us money. They're really gonna start teaching us what they're supposed to do, right? That's false healing. Your healing is not gonna come through the enemy, or your healing is not gonna come through an enemy poverty mindset, because healing is wealth, right? Mental healing is mental health, and therefore mental wealth. Thank you for the love, right? So be careful with that as well, where you're taking things where you're waiting that things are going to change, because everything's going to change, everything's going to work out, the United States of America is going to get it together, the president's going to do it, blah blah. That's false healing. You're waiting for something that doesn't happen, that's never happened, that will not happen. And even if it does happen, be healed and whole already. So when they come, really, when they're coming and they're saying, I'm sorry, you can be in a position where you say, I've already forgiven you. You see what I'm saying? Right? Be in a position where you've already forgiven them, and you've already done the work, and you already took time out to figure out what you could have done better. Yes, I know, but I was the one abused. I was this and that. Was there anything you could have done better? And even if the answer is no, which is very rare, it does happen, but even if the answer is no, then okay, there's nothing you could have done better. All right. Well, even with that, the best thing you can do is to heal. The best thing you can do to heal is to heal. I've had to apologize to Elder Alma about that, where there were things that I was carrying, and she was getting stuff that she didn't deserve. She's catching strays, and I had to realize that I had some false healing going on. I was waiting for healing for stuff that was not coming anytime soon, and even if I think it's headed that way, it always shows that it's not going to really be what I would love for it to be. So, if you're looking for somebody who taught you wrong to teach you correctly all of a sudden, that's false healing, right? That's like put it like this. Put it like this. If somebody stabs you with a knife, right? If you get stabbed with a knife, why would you wait for the knife to help you feel better? If you put your hand on the oven and it gets burned on the stove, would you wait for the stove to apologize? No, right? So some persons are that distant, some persons are that removed from what is real, and in their reality, They can't even see what they did. They can't even see how they harmed you. It's like an inanimate object that did something to you. Okay, don't lose no sleep. Praise Yah, keep it moving, and it's gonna hurt. Remember, whenever these things happen, don't depress. Don't take your foot off the accelerator. Press forward, right? Press forward, and in that way, you don't get caught up in this place where you keep waiting for your healing has to come through this particular person at this particular time, the way you saw it in your dreams, when you were playing with Barbie and Ken said this or whatever. He's not a Ken doll. Oh yeah, when I was playing football and this happened or whatever, the rules are going to do blah blah whatever. Look, y'all didn't establish rules in your marriage. She might not abide by rules, especially when you never established them. Right? There's both men and women who don't know anything out of a relationship, out of sexual gratification. If you waiting for them to start acting different, right? And when I say that, even sometimes it's sexual gratification. It's not even. Just got to set up. Come on, Brother Lamar, praise y'all. I'm lying, right? But some persons don't know anything out of a relationship, male or female, outside of sexual gratification, right? We got to stop dealing with this impoverished mindset. What do I mean? Like, even with the sister, by the way, a sister could be somebody. Have you noticed that if the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't, take it off. I'm telling you, somebody who's done research, study, has talked to sisters and stuff like that who have admitted such things, have listened to women who have admitted such things. Look, real talk. If there's a sister that's flirting with you, knowing that she's not going to go ahead and say anything to you, but she'll still flirt with you, knowing that eventually she's going to send you away, that's a sexual. It's not like an actual physical sexual thing, but that's a sexual thing. That's something where there's a control thing, there's a manipulation, there's some kind of like getting off on it, even if it's not a physical, orgasm or whatever, right? These things exist. There's a lot of persons that don't know anything about sexual gratification. There's a lot of sisters who, not brothers even, there are brothers, but hear what I'm saying. There's sisters even who will literally be like, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? You don't love me? Because the men they've been with before, they wait. They don't wait, rather. But you wait. And you want to know about her life. And you want to pour into her spirit. And you want to nurture her soul, right? And there's a lot of brothers, of course, on the opposite end who will do all these things and look down upon women and tell you how bad they are, tell you these women for the streets and this and that or whatever. And the interesting part, after doing all that and telling them this, if the woman actually sits there and actually bends to their will and lays down with them per their request, finally lays down with them, then that man will look at her and say, she's the problem. Right? That man will say how a woman should be pure and be chaste and be a virgin when he's had sex with her before he throws her away. She should be chaste and then do whatever he says from that point on. And if she doesn't do exactly that, or if she's had sex with anybody else, she is no longer a woman of value. It will say all that stuff, right? And then he himself has no discipline to not lay down with a woman, or just can't get a woman. And then finally, when he does, he tries to lay down with her as soon as he can. We're so sexually abused and introducing so many things outside of it. And brothers will forget, and sisters too, will forget and all that stuff. I used to do this when I had a prawn problem. You'll do all these different things. Look at all these different women online. You can read all these magazines, all these things that talk so negatively and talk about women as inanimate objects, tits, like birds, right? Jugs, pussy as in pussycat, right? All these different words, whatever, right? Just make them like they're inanimate objects, right? And then when you get in a relationship with them, you try to tell them how you're mature and how you're spiritual, this and that, and somehow, you forget that you